The top performers are proudly sponsored by Warrington Wolves Supporters Trust Squad Builder. Here are your top performers from round number 6 of the Betfred Super League. Both scoring a hat-trick at the weekend with Jake Ward of the Wigan Warriors and Mikey Lewis of Hull KR. The most assists also came from Mikey Lewis with another magnificent 3. The top meter maker of the round was Mikey once more, the man's magic, 260. The most clean breaks came from Junior Incember, Mikey Lewis again, and Atamorg on debut for Hull KR, all of course with 3. The top tackle buster, guess who? It's Mikey once again, he got 11. Whilst the most hard meters came from Suasisu, George Jesse to his friends, 144 for the Robins. The most offloads came from Tavita Pangai Jr., the Catalan Dragons 4 against the Saints. Whilst the top tackler was Harry Rushton of Huddersfield Giants with 56, on which the Costa got 55, Oliver Partonton 50, and Matty Lees 47. Bruising indeed! And finally, the best goal kicks of the round were Arthur Morgan and Harry Smith, both getting 7, albeit more got 7 from 9, Harry 7 from 10. These are your top performers from round number 6. This production comes to you in association with the Bluebell Warrington. Situated in an 18th century building in the town centre and just a 5-minute walk from the HJ Stadium, the Bluebell is the perfect destination for pre- and post-game food and drink. The 2024 Warrington Pub of the Year is now the official home of Super League Raw on Warrington Wolves match days for both home and away supporters. Super League Raw are delighted to have agreed a members-only area, allowing our community to come together to discuss rugby league pre- and post-match. So set your course to the Bluebell Warrington on match days and beyond. You are sure to be greeted with a warm welcome and a cold beer. Super League Raw and the Bluebell, the perfect partnership in enhancing your match day experience. So good evening and welcome to Super League Raw Weekly. Great to have your company as always. Just before you go on air and your daughter sends you an app to approve, always good, isn't it, boys? What can you do? Good evening to Joel. Good evening to Reggie. Good evening to Steph. And Joel, can you explain your attire, sir?
I certainly can. This top was very kindly given to me as a present by Mr. Bazza Kingston, who is one of our members. A couple of reasons why I'm wearing it, because number one, I think it means a whole lot when someone can give a shirt their pride and joy that they've either won or they've spent quite X amount of money on, and they hold dear to their hearts, that they can give it to somebody else. And that to me is a very touching point. And I think also it just helps break that barrier of saying, yeah, we can wear each other's tops every now and then, and we can swap shirts. So that's good.
Speaking of
thank you, brother.
Speaking of touching, are you going to give it him back when you wipe your derriere with it?
No. If anybody ever wants to give me a top, I will wear it on weekly gladly.
Happy days. Well done. No, absolute top bloke, Bazza. Fantastic stuff. And of course, a lot of photos there, gentlemen, from the Bluebell on Friday night. Leeds fans, Alex Sharp and Fraser Howard in the house. Also, John Wilkinson, a Wire fan, was in there as well. And we got to meet Ricky Matthews, a Warrington Wolves supporter who came across to us and said he loved the show, Reggie.
He did, and it's good to see. It's always nice when something like that happens. Out the blue, walked over, shook our hands, said we were doing a great job, really loved it. So he's a good Orford lad as well. So good lad, Ricky. Thanks very much.
This one is for you, sir. Outstanding. Yeah, of course, you'd have seen there on the titles that myself, Steph, and Greg today have been at the women's launch of Super League. More on that a little bit later in the show. But great to see old friends and new down there, which is marvellous. Of course, just a quick one. You saw there the baseball caps are now available on the website. We did have somebody quite cheekily put themselves down for a Challenge Cup ticket that isn't a member, and I'm sorry, that's going to be returned. It's members only that we're taking donations from for the Challenge Cup. So if you're not a member, I'm sorry, but we won't be taking you along to that. So only members, please. And we're looking to get all of that shored up in the next couple of weeks. Tickets will start to go. We need to get that boxed off. So Challenge Cup, if you want to come to the Challenge Cup with Super League Raw, then you need to go onto our website, members, get your tickets now. If you win the tickets as part of our prize draw, more on that later, of course, that will be refunded back to you. Okay, so you'll have nothing to worry about there. We'll just give those tickets away again, which is even more marvelous. So yeah, we'll keep going through a little bit of housekeeping here and there, but bit of news to do, so we're going to do this. Banging or hanging? Yes, it's that time of the show once again where we get rid of people and we let people have a little chat about this, that, and the other. So first up this week is going to be Mr. Sale. So goodbye, gentlemen. Hello, Mr. Sale. And the first thing for you, Mr. Sale, is this. Should coaches be able to challenge officials at half-time? Brad Arthur, not impressed with Burgess at full-time. Discuss, sir.
No, I don't think they should. And for the main reason, like Brad Arthur's come out, it just causes controversy and conspiracy theories, doesn't it? So yeah, I think the referee more so should be left alone, especially during the game, to ref as he sees fit. So for me, this is hanging. Mr. Burgess should not be going anywhere near the referee at half-time.
Hanging from the Sale for Mr. Burgess. You are on notice, Samuel. Over to Mr. Scholes. Mr. Scholes. Mr. Price is back. 45 appearances, 17 tries for the Giants. Are you disappointed that he's not returning to the John Smiths?
I guess in the current situation, yeah, that would be great to have him. But long term, I don't know if it is would have been the best fit for us, possibly. Sometimes a return, I don't know. I think once you've been there, you only go back if there's a very good reason. And he's unfortunately not played many games in the NRL. I believe it's 5 only. And he's not
debut, though, mate. A try-scoring debut, if you remember.
He did, but that's Will for you. Very elusive. He can turn the game on its head in a second. But I've also seen the other side of Will as well. Like him very much. Very good bloke. Got a lot of talent. But yeah, I think it's banging for the league and it's banging for Hull FC. But yeah, I'll leave it at that, I think. But it's good. Yeah, good news.
Going to leave it at that. Fair enough, my friend. That's absolutely fantastic. We now get rid of Mr. Scholes. We bring in Sir Reginald Nixon. Greg, this one for you to discuss. Herman S.A., the Hermanator back for 3 more years. Hermomania, sir. Your thoughts on this as a Warrington Wolves fan? You must be delighted, surely.
Oh, as long as he's not playing against us, I'm absolutely delighted. But banging news to Super League. What a player this guy is. Absolutely awesome. yeah, as a fan of another club, clearly it's hanging for my club, but for Hull, banging all the way. For Super League, banging all the way. He's a superstar. He's a man of. He's a potential man of steel, and I'm personally glad he's staying in Super League. So
you're
banging for me, yeah.
You're banging, absolutely banging on that one. Fantastic.
Definitely.
Well done, sir. And so say all of us. Hummermania! We coined it here. We were the first to say it. That's all I'm saying. Let's get over to Mr. Sale. Similar question, Steph. Decision pending. Captain's challenge. 6 rounds in. What's your verdict on this one, mate?
It's been a bit mixed bag for me, this. I think some have used it well, some have used it appallingly. I do still like the fact that we have got this facility, and for glaring errors, then teams can obviously challenge. But I think some teams are just doing it to potentially slow the game down a little bit in situations which we all thought was a bit of a worry. But I'm going to still say it's banging for now.
Banging for now. There was a caveat in there, Mr. Sale. Don't think we didn't notice it. Mr. Scholes, he's back. And Joel, seeing as though you're wearing the right shirt, just how good is Mikey Lewis, Joel?
I don't think good is even the right word for him. It was incredible, just immense. He was untouchable. Could not tackle him for toffee. His footwork, his passing, his speed. For me, from Mikey, was a flawless performance, and I think one of the best ones I've seen him do personally on a field. I know we probably made it very easy for him, but that takes nothing away from his incredible talent, and how lucky we are to have him in Super League.
Was it a privilege, Joel, even though you were obviously on the wrong end of him, to see a player of this stature on your field?
Absolutely it was, yeah, because that's how you want all your team's players to aspire to play like, regardless whether you are winning by a ton, which they were, or not. At half-time it was pretty close-ish, but then Mikey turned on the style and really put the pressure on, like he said in the sheds. You didn't have to go out of third gear. So if that's him in third gear, we're scary to see what it'd be like in fifth.
Absolutely. And for you, would you replace Williams with Mikey Lewis? We had a chat on Final Whistle. Of course, you weren't there. Thought I'd have your say on that as well. Lewis for 6 for England?
Yes, but I'd probably give it another year. I think he just needs that extra bit of time. I don't think he could do with that pressure right now.
Fair enough. I always remember watching The Secret of My Success, Michael J. Fox, when he was talking about a memo. Mikey's not a memo. Mikey's literature. He's an absolute prize-winning novel. He's that good. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, bring him back in, Sir Gregory. Get your teeth into this one, sir. New disciplinary point system. Thoughts? 6 rounds in, Mr. Nixon?
It's a lot. I think once you understand how it works, and nobody like the RFL can make a simple system more difficult than it has to be. The prize winners at that. Once you get your head around how it works, I think personally, it's a lot better than the previous. Well, not a lot better, but it's certainly better than the season we've had the system we've had up until this season. I think they're explaining it a little bit better as to the points and why they got the points, which is that sometimes all we needed the disciplinary system to do was to explain why a certain decision had been got to. With this point system, I think they have to do that more. And, players now know when they're more likely to get a ban rather than, somebody like a Paul Vaughan who gets a 7-game ban and it's out of the blue. So I think at this moment in time, now I think people are getting their heads around it. It's banging.
Right. So it's a banger for you, yeah?
Yeah, I think it's a lot. There's still some, it's still not perfect, but I think it's a lot better than we've had.
I'll go round on this one as well. Steph, your take on that one?
I don't think it's perfect, but I think it's great. I think we're seeing a lot less bans of players this year. We don't want to see players banned for silly amounts of games, and it's going to hurt the players who are the most prolific offenders. So for me, I think it's working really well. And I think we should give credit to the RFL for looking at it and bringing in a system, like I said, not perfect, but it's a hell of a lot better. And we all want to see the best players playing week in, week out and not banned for silly things. So I think in that respect, it's working really well.
Joel?
Yeah, I'm in agreement with Steph regarding the prolific offenders. I think it is a good way of policing them. Though it comes with its flaws, of course. You know, like Steph said, it's not perfect. There are a few things in it that we all probably won't like, i.e. some of the players that might be on the fringes of a few points here and there, and they come against a tackle that maybe, you know, we all would have deemed not as severe as what they have done as the board have officiated it to be, and then they've copped a ban and it's messed up in that game. But then again, can we find a better way of dealing with it? Possibly not. So currently, I think it's in a good development stage, and I hope they're going to improve it, and I'm sure they will improve as the years go on.
Okay, little challenger then for you all on this one. We appear. I'm just going to move us to a different slide to do that on the fly.
You've gone, Dave.
Oh, I shouldn't have been. I'm still here. Hello.
You're back now.
Well, thank God. Thought I'd gone deaf.
Yeah, we're seeing more players on the field. Bans are down and down a lot. Now, surely that's got to be worth celebrating.
Yep, agree.
100%.
Yep.
Yeah, so in that case, are we saying it's a positive?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't think any of us said it was a negative.
I don't think you did.
It was just once you get the head round the point system. I think that all three of us agree that at this moment in time, it's a lot better than what we've had before.
100%.
Fabulous. Yeah, I think it's been a real positive. And like I say, the more players are on the field of play, it's good. I think it is tough to get your head around. I get that. But so far for me, so good.
I think Phil Webster makes a good point in the chat, though, that is there not danger with the tossing up system and at the back end of the season could see a lot more bans?
Behave yourselves.
But yes, that's down to the player, isn't it? And don't forget
exactly.
that once they've served the ban, they get half of that ban knocked off the ongoing tally. So if someone's getting to a point where the back end of the season they're copying loads of bans, then that's the player's fault. You know, you can allow one bad one where you go, that was a bit harsh. But if you're getting 3 or 4 times, you're up in disciplinary. I'm sorry, that's your own problem, son.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Right, let's get into some other bits and pieces. Of course, this on the way, England versus Australia. There are some key dates. The next one being tomorrow. Between tomorrow and Sunday, those who put the name down to get advance tickets will, of course, be able to buy those advance tickets. I think this could be a sellout, especially the Everton game. Headingley, I think it'll depend on the final score. I think that one might be the least sold up until the series actually starts. But certainly the first two, I think Everton. Greg, did you say it's about 50,000?
Something. I think I read 54,000. I might be wrong. I'm sure there's an Everton fan in the chat. They'll correct me, but I think I read it. That was what it was. That's
doable. So our appeal, I think, in obviously Challenge Cup Grand Final, we're that far out. We're going to try and get all that sorted out for the members. The Challenge Cup, like I say, by the end of April. And really, we want to get all of those who wish to come with us like they did last year and have a right good laugh. And we want to probably get that all sorted out no later than probably the end of May. We want to go into the main stand. We don't want to be in the end so that people don't feel threatened. Not that they did, but I get it. Last year, we were sat in the Wigan end. We did have a couple of OKR fans with us, and there was no trouble. Everything was tickety-boo, but I think a neutral spot is probably best when you consider there was probably about 7 of the Super League teams represented in our community that went to the grand final. So we're going to try and get the Challenge Cup sorted, done and dusted. The draw for the tickets will be at the end of April. More on that a little bit later. So we're going to try and get the Challenge Cup done by the end of April. We're going to get the grand final hopefully done by the end of May. With regards to the Ashes series, members, open your ears for this one, especially the one at Everton. We believe that we're going to be able to do almost a mini hospitality. Get your ticket, of course, for the game. But if you want to start your day in Warrington at our main sponsor, the Bluebell, they are going to be putting on a bit of lunch, a free drink, and travel to and from the venue. We're working at the moment to a price for all of that, £30. So if you fancy that, if you want to come and join us for that, members, again, it will just be solely for the members. That is something that we'll be doing for the Everton game and potentially the one at Headingley as well. More information of a similar sort will be coming your way in the next week or two. The good news, boys, is this, though. 30,000 fans have already registered in the priority window. So we really need to be... I mean, Wembley's probably a tall order, but we really need to be selling out Everton and Headingley, don't we?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, and Everton's 52,888.
Brilliant. So not a million
I was
miles
close
off.
with 54. I was close.
Not a million miles off. Happy days. So let's hope that the rugby league community come out in force to support that. Let's also he's not done the QR code. He's gone the long way round, but welcome to the community, Jacob Dale. Jacob Dale is the newest member here at Super League Raw. He's joined this evening. He's another Robins fan. We seem to be getting quite a lot of Robins fans at the moment. But you're absolutely welcome here at Super League Raw, Jacob. Welcome to the community. More information on the shows that don't go free to air will come your way. Of course, the WhatsApp group as well. We'll get the link to you for that this evening, and there you will be able to find the links to the shows as well as on the website. Do you want to become a member? Do you want even more content? Do you want 7 days a week rugby league? Do you want to be listening to rugby league content on the way to work and on the way home to work? These are the questions you've got to answer. Do you want to be involved in competitions that win your tickets? If you do that QR code throughout the show. Become a member. We will be giving you a shout out. Well, let's just quickly go into the chat and say some good evenings. Craig Forth, good evening to you. Rich Fewlis, Mark Smith, Phil Webster, Rebecca Gray, William Webster. Oh, they're all in here. All the members are in here tonight. John O's in there. Mark Hill, AD West, Carl. Bazza Kingston, yes, great to have all of your company. Really, everybody's commenting on your shirt, Joel, which must make you feel very happy. Buddies, as always, generous. We have the usual lip smackers from our Nick, always nice. Carla Collier's with us. She's obviously put the kids to bed. You get that vino going, Carla, mate. You get your feet, put those lovely feet of yours up on a nice cushion, and you enjoy your evening with ourselves. Keep getting your comments in the chat, and we will continue to give you your shout outs throughout the show. Right, we're going to kick off now with the Nixon Report. Greg, of course, joined Steph and I today at the women's launch. So, Mr. Nixon, it's you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, yes, so as David said, Women's Super League season 2025 was officially launched with a media event at Leigh Sports Village today, hosted by Sky's Jenna Brooks. Lots of head coaches, lots of players from all 8 Super League clubs and clubs below them in the Championship as well, which was good to see. Representatives from Cardiff were there and from other clubs. Sheffield Eagles, which was great to see them being invited and getting involved as well. Should inspire them to want to get into that top flight fairly soon. There's plenty of discussions on the day about who's going to win what. You know, York, can they do 3 on the bounce for the grand finals? But there was a lot of talk in the room, and there wasn't much disagreement that St Helens are going to be the team to watch once again this year. And, you know, St Helens are the one team I haven't mentioned so far for a reason. I think they are quite possibly everybody's favourites to win the grand final this year. They've brought back Amy Hardcastle and Shona Hoyle, 2 absolute class players from over the last 4 or 5 years. Absolute, legends of the women's game. They brought in Caitlin Casey, all from Leeds, crossing the Pennines from Headingley. They'll be looking to win the Challenge Cup for a 5th straight season, and they will be looking to stop York Valkyrie from landing that 3rd successive grand final win. Even better news for the Red V's that Faye Gaskin, she's put off her expected retirement for 1 more season at least. And, last season, youngsters like Phoebe Hook and Katie Mottershead, who made a debut for England earlier this year, will be joined by academy graduates Caitlin Mailer, Emma Lowe and Holly Brussels. They are players to watch, and they will be certainly out to impress head coaches Craig Richards and Derek Hardman. And I was speaking to Craig at the launch today, and the fact that Saints are favourites for most people before the season starts, it's not a surprise for him. And he thinks that simply by pulling on that Red V shirt, that brings with him its own pressures. So let's have a listen to what he had today at the launch. a lot of people have got when pundits, so-called experts are asked who's going to take the honours this year. Saints aren't far from the top of the list. Does that put an added pressure on you as a coach?
Oh, listen, I've been at Saints for over 10 years, and the minute you put the badge on, there's a pressure.
Yeah.
And I think what we do well is we learn to embrace it and use it to drive us. So is there a pressure to win? Yeah, there is 100%, but it's just about being humble and make sure that you work hard and put yourself in a position to get them wins.
Yeah, and you brought Amy Hardcastle back amongst others this year. I mean, that must be a great boost to the squad.
Yeah, again, it was a shock when we took over. We didn't really know what type of squad we would have, but it's been pleasant that people like Amy, Shauna Royal contacted us, wanting to come back, and Caitlin Case, who's an absolutely fantastic young girl in her own right. Even though they came as a free, they were separate. It's just really exciting to work with Amy and Shauna again, as I have done for a number of years at England. Yeah. But, the introduction of Caitlin and, the headroom for her to grow is just next level.
So there we go. So away from Super League, congratulations to Swinton Lionesses for continuing their impressive start to the season. Sammy Simpson got another hat-trick. London Broncos defeated Featherstone Rovers. And Hull KR beat Sheffield Eagles. And finally, just a word for Wakefield Trinity's Courtney Evans, who has returned to playing 5 months after donating part of her liver to save the life of her baby. She's never met. She had major surgery in October. She was back last weekend to play in the victory over Halifax. Is now hoping she can meet up with the baby, his parents, at some point in the near future. So that's inspirational stuff from Courtney there. And that's it from me this week. So back over to Dave.
Well done, sir. Fantastic stuff. A great interview there with Craig. It was a lot longer. We have got interviews galore with the women's game. Keep your eyes peeled on our website, on our social media. Greg really put a shift in today. Did some great interviews. With
it was fun.
It was a good day, wasn't it?
I enjoyed it. I love speaking to people who are involved at that level of the game, because there's an honesty about the women's game. For whatever reason they're out there, and I'm not saying the men aren't out there for this as well, but for the women, it's the love of the game, it's the pride of pulling that shirt on, and it's the team involvement, the community around it. So I just talking to people who are involved in the women's game, I love it. It's really good.
Yeah, representatives from Wigan, Lee. We had a lovely girl called Bella Sykes, who, of course, was over the year. She spent some time with us. We've got some conversations with some of the future stars of Women's Super League in the pipeline as well. It was a great day, Mr. Sale, wasn't it?
It was, and I think I'll just add to that in terms of the professionalism of the girls as well. They all spoke brilliantly in front of the camera. Jenna did a great job hosting the event, and I think it was a real credit to the women's game that so many people were in attendance, and just goes to show how far the women's game's going. And make sure you tune in for some games, because they need to get those viewing figures up, and we need to get it regularly on Sky, because that way the game will go from strength to strength and more sponsors will come. But great Betfred has supported it again as well. They spoke really well, I thought, today in terms of their support for the women's game, and also the wheelchair game and all the other ones that they're doing, the game as a whole, Betfred, so they should be applauded as well.
100%. Really good event. Fantastic event, and we will be doing more of those. Kev, what was saying, Lancashire versus Yorkshire? There was one last year. It was probably one of the best kept secrets in the game of Women's Rugby League, wasn't it, Greg?
It was, and it was a good game too.
Yeah.
I think Kevin. I think Kevin's spot on there. That is a really good way of highlighting the women's game. Good game last year. A lot more interesting than some of the internationals we've had recently. Let's say that. And yeah, Kevin, you spot on there, mate. I think that should be a fixture in the calendar every year for the women's game.
Absolutely. I'm just going to put this one back up because I just need to get a bit of work on the fly. As always, gentlemen, you know what it's like this end of the screen. But I just wanted to announce this little beauty. Yes, it is official, ladies and gentlemen. The second Quiz night at the Bluebell is now scheduled for Wednesday, the 16th of April at a 7:30 p.m. start. Why not get there an hour earlier and enjoy some award-winning cuisine? The Warrington Pub of the Year is the Bluebell. It was a great night when we did this in March. It's back again in April, live in the pub, multiple choice questions, all done on your phone, free entry, and you will be playing for, just trying to remember, I believe it's the St. Helens tickets on this one. So what the Bluebell will be doing, the first prize will be a meal in the Bluebell before the Saints game, and then two free tickets to the Saints game. If you're a Warrington Wolves or St. Helens season ticket holder and you're getting your tickets cheaper or elsewhere, then the cash equivalent of those tickets will be given to you so you can go and spend that in your club shop. So there you go. Wednesday, the 16th of April, at a 7:30 start. Get that in your diary if you live in Warrington, Lee, St. Helens and Wigan. Of course, we had Andy and Emma come from Wigan and they won last time. So if you live in the surrounding area of Warrington, make the pilgrimage. You'll love it. It's a great, great night. Greg, it was fantastic when we did it in March. It should be bigger and better in April.
Well, I loved it. It was a fantastic night. Some good questions, some good entertainment. Really gets you thinking. And it's not all about how much you don't know about rugby league. There's a lot of lateral thinking involved in there, which is always a killer for me. But yeah, a great night. Get yourself down to it. It's really, really worth the effort.
Yes, it is. For members who live further afield, I will be in touch with you in due course. But anybody who lives in and around the Bluebell, like I say, very commutable from Lee, St. Helens, Wigan, even Salford, make the pilgrimage Wednesday the 16th of April. Lovely to see you there. And you could go away with some brilliant prizes. It's free to enter. You're going to be with a wonderful community of people and you'll really, really love it. There was a lot of people who were just drinking in there that night who said, didn't realise it was on, didn't realise it would be so good. We'll be coming back with mates next month. So we got some lovely people who really gave it a proper shout on the day. Right, okay. I think it's that time where we need to do Team of the Week. But before we do that, let's have another little quick conversation, shall we, gentlemen? Because we've got time this evening, of course, because there's no Super League. There's only 4 Challenge Cup games that we need to be discussing. So where's that little beauty? I'm just going to go and find it. It's in here somewhere. By all means, talk amongst yourselves. Where is it? It's around here somewhere.
I'm waiting for Steph to wear his donated Wigan shirt, I must admit, Joel, aren't you?
Well, if Steph don't wear it, I will.
Yeah, it'll be coming. I just need to find someone who'll lend me one because I'm not buying one.
You're not buying it. There it is. We finally found it. There you go. This, for me, was probably the hardest round to possibly pick a player of the round. I don't think we've had a round like we had in round number 6, where every person on that screen in any other week probably walks it. But really competitive, really, really competitive. In their own way, everybody possibly deserving the shout of player of the round. For those listening to the podcast, our players of the match in the respective games, the Hull FC Castleford one, we gave it to Herman SASA. Mike McMeekin got it for the Lee Wakey game. Jake Connor for Warrington against Wigan. Junior Insemba got it for the game that they played against Salford. Mikey Lewis against Huddersfield. And Alex Walmsley for the game in Catalan. They are the players that people are looking at on the screen. Joel, I'll start with you. Tough, this one, because like I say, in their own way, all had blockbuster games. But who would you give it to out of these 6?
Very, very tough. Like you say, very, very tough. All played absolutely fantastic, unbelievable rugby. For me, it's between 2, I think. I would have said Herman, but, Herman gets the raps like he does. He was against the Castleford side, so you kind of would expect it from Herman, even though he did play incredible. But for me, it's between Alex Walmsley and Mikey Lewis. And the reason why I go for them 2 is more so from the Alex Walmsley standpoint. They were playing Catalan. He's at the age of he is. He's right at the twilight of his career, and he can still put in performances like that. And you think, how much longer can this guy go? Playing at the level he's playing at. And I think being a Saint, anybody who's a Saints fan has just got to be in awe that they've got somebody of the player of the stature that he has in their team at his age. So I think I'm heading towards Alex Walmsley for that reason. But Mikey Lewis, man, that was one of the best performances I've seen from Mikey. He just controlled the whole game himself.
I mean, obviously, I know that people on the podcast can't listen to, so can't see the opening credits, and we always play the top performers from round 6. Lewis's stats this weekend: 3 tries, 3 assists, 23 tackles, 11 tackle busts, 19 carries for 260 metres, 3 clean breaks, 1 dummy run, 2 offloads, 10 kicks in general play, 7 attacking kicks. I mean, I've been doing this before. Me and Greg were debating 4 or 5 years. I can seldom remember, Steph, in that period of time, seeing stats for one player that good.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just going through it in my head there as you guys were talking in terms of how can I eliminate players from this list. They were all absolutely outstanding. You're right to highlight them all this week, and it's very difficult. The way I've done it in my head is Connor was on a losing side, although I think he's been brilliant since they put him at 6. And Semba was playing Salford, who we all know the trouble Salford were having. SASA again playing Castleford, but has been outstanding, and has led the way forward for FC and the reason that they're doing so well. Similar to Walmsley. I've got it between Meakin. Obviously, I saw him in the flesh on Friday, and I thought it was absolutely Wakefield. I think he's been a revelation since he joined them, and he's a big reason in terms of why Wakefield are doing so well. But for me, he's just edged out by Mikey Lewis. I think that was probably the performance of the season we saw from Mikey against Huddersfield. And again, you could use Huddersfield's form against him a bit in this one and expect him to have a good game. But I just think it was that good. It was unplayable, wasn't it, on the day? So for me, I'm going to go Mikey Lewis.
Great comment from Nick Shep there, Greg. 5 of them English as well.
Yeah. Isn't that good to see?
Which is great, isn't it?
Isn't that good to see? I think Mike McMeekin has got to be in the Ashes squad. I think Walmsley's got to be. Well, Ed Semba, there's something wrong if he isn't in that Ashes squad. Not so sure that Connor might get in there because of his reputation. But Mikey Lewis, as I said on Final Whistle, I think should be in there ahead of George Williams, or at least there or thereabouts if George Williams doesn't maybe put a shift in that first test at Wembley. I look at this and I tend to agree with Steph that Nsemba was playing against Salford. Connor, he threw the forward pass. He hits a crossbar 3 seasons ago. He'd have won a holiday to Australia for hitting a crossbar at Halliwell Jones. Maybe that's what he was going for. McMeekin. I mean, for me, to go to Lee, and sorry, Steph, to remind you this, to go to Lee and to put 40 points past Lee at home, that is some performance. Whether Lee have got injury problems, whether they've got players missing, that is a great performance. Mikey Lewis, stats are phenomenal. And again, Joel, no disrespect, but Huddersfield haven't been setting the world on fire this season. And for me, I'm going to be controversial. I'm going to go with Mike McMeekin because as good as Mikey Lewis was, and he was sensational, for a forward to put that shift in and to be as good as he was and to go to Lee and to put that performance on and really be at the centre of that performance, I've gone for Mike McMeekin. Not because I want to be controversial or contrary or different to everybody else. If Mikey Lewis did that against Warrington, against Saints, against Wigan, against Leeds, then yes. And again, no disrespect to you, Joel, and Huddersfield, but I think Mike McMeekin, for the fact they put 40... Sorry, Steph, I keep saying this, but they went to Lee and they won. I think for me, just edges it. And he's a forward as well.
Yes, I think, like I say, very, very difficult for me.
Everybody has opinions.
Everybody has opinions. Exactly. For me, I'd say, in their own right, they all deserve the shout out. We haven't put that graphic up on Super League Raw Weekly all year. We've just put it on the socials. But I thought this week it was worthy of note on the show because I think all 6 of them players had a real solid week. I like my forwards. I like Big Erman. Nsemba was good, but you're right. He was playing Salford. It's just hard to look past Mikey Lewis's
I understand that, Dave.
It's really hard to look past it.
I'm just looking at who he played against and who McMeekin played against. You could say the same of Walmsley. Going to Catalan and winning.
Yeah,
he's
massive. Walmsley was, and Matty Lees as well. I mean, it was honestly, it was so tight between Walmsley and Lees for my 3 points because Matty Lees on both sides of the ball. But I gave it Walmsley because I thought his try assist was wonderful for such a big fella. Lovely hands to send Taylor over for that one. So well done. I have to say, Mr. Roach here, he's in. I put his comment up. Sorry, Joel, you'll come back in a minute. But he's sorry that he's late. We had a great weekend with Joel and with Bazza Kingston. He's also saying, for those on the podcast, is Mr. Roach. You'll, of course, know his voice from the Final Whistle podcast, that it's good to see that KR makes shirts for all shapes and body sizes. I wasn't aware that he got you one as well as Joel, Greg. But I'm glad it fits, mate. I'm glad it fits. Well done, sir. Don't you worry, Joel. You're in safe hands. If he comes coming for you, buddy, I'll go for him. I'm not having that. Kevin Worrell, though, he loves me, really, Greg. Kev Worrell says that, in his opinion, unbiased, of course, Aaron Lindop's was the best try of the weekend. Does anybody disagree with that?
Oh, what a try. It was, if it wasn't, it was up there. I mean, the kids showed great vision. And against someone to play, we'd been under the cosh a little bit. And I think, it was a try of the week. There's some good tries scored this week. But on an individual basis, that was the individual try of the week. Yeah. And that kid has got a massive, massive future in the game.
In the NRL, Greg. In the NRL.
Look, the Wigan fans don't like us saying Nsemba going to the NRL. Equally, I don't like people saying Lindop going to the NRL. It's going to happen. It's going to happen, isn't it?
You spell touchy with a Y, Greg, not an E. But anyway, moving swiftly on.
He's being continental, Dave.
Anyway, let's put a smile on Mr. Roach's face. It's that time of the week. Speaking of Lindop, though, it was a great try, but we don't give people places in team of the weeks for 1 minute of genius. You've got to be a lot better over the 80 minutes as well. So unlike our friends over at Super League, who decided to give Aaron one of the wing spots, it's one of ours, because we do it properly. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Team of the Week for round number 6.
Team of the Week is sponsored by The Good Estate Agent. With an average turnaround time of 3 weeks, if you want your house sold quickly, then contact Stefan today on 01942 356 577. Quote Super League Raw for 33% off. It's the Super League Raw Team of the Week for round number 6 with the Good Estate Agent 2025. Here we go again. A fullback is the new kid on the block for the Robins. It's Arthur Morg. He showed he had the right stuff. The first time was a great time. Will the second time be a blast? Well, we'll find out at the weekend in the Challenge Cup against FC. At 2 is the brother of Josh, Jake Fulis, who at 19 stood across the field from the veteran legend, the Man Mountain, Ryan Hall. Well, Jake moved Ryan the Mountain to score the winning try against the Rhinos. At 3 is Oliver Gildart, who scored his 5th try of the campaign and made his 2nd assist to boot. This is the Gildart pre-NRL, and it's showing everybody once more that on his day he's one of the best and most solid as a rock centres in the league. Partnering him will be the formidable Jake Wardle all day long. He'll be wardling young and free. And he wishes you all a wardling Merry Easter. At 5, we can find the time for the life of Riley Lum. And I don't mind the error, as I get the feeling he'll be fine, as once more he plays some exceptional rugby league football at the Halliwell Jones. At 6, it's a kind of magic. Mikey Lewis, one dream, one soul, one prize, one goal, one golden glance of what could be. One thing is certain, Mikey is back-to-back man of steel potential, and on this form, he could lead the Robins to the promised land. At 7 is the reborn Aiden Caesar of FC. It's his almost a second coming on this form. Has he been to Lords and kissed the feet of the Virgin Mary? Has he been blessed by the rains down in Africa? Who knows? But he can be summed up in just the one word: quality. At 8, it's Hermomania himself, Herman, S-A-S-A, brah, brah, brah. Not since David Banner have we seen such an incredible hulk of a man. As the poet MC Hammer rightly said, you can't touch this dude.
And 9, it's not Robin, it's not Little Red Riding, it's Liam Hood who takes the spoils. The pocket rocket is in the form of his life on what may be his last season at Waker. Come on, Miss Brassbull, dust off that red bull. At 10 is Mike McMeekin. Forget me, this man is pure strength and Gala and Rugby League shirts. Rumour has it he likes the little Tarzan boy on the jukebox in the dressing room, as he can be heard declaring, take a chance, leave everything behind you, come and join me, you won't be sorry. It's easy to survive in Super League. At 11 is an episode of Masters of the Universe, all in one man. Yes, He-Man, Beast-Man, and Man-at-Arms, leaving Skeletors in his wake. He has the power and will be a Wigan legend for Eternia. At 12, we have a debut in 2025 for James McDonald, who continued his brilliant form against the wire. Opponents beware, as in 2025 you must be like a 4-year-older to urinal. That's right, you need to be on your toes when James comes to town. And finally, another defensive hero who had the Leopards sick to the pit of their stomachs on Friday. Yes, it's Jay Pitts, who played as fresh as a cleanly shaved underarm, permeated by the finest Lynx body spray. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your team of the week for round number 6. There you go, team of the week for round number 6. You like the Lynx one, didn't you, Joel?
I hope you're friends with Jay, I tell you.
Happy days indeed. Yes, boys, your eyes are not deceiving you. 3 Wakefield Trinity players in team of the week. It's absolutely marvellous, isn't it?
Well deserved as well. Well deserved.
So they should be.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, it's a shame. If they could win at home, they'd be flying high.
Yeah.
Well, they may well do on Friday.
Yeah, they may well do. I think, again, a really tough team of the week as well. I mean, you see it there. There's no Saints players in. I can't believe there's no Saints players in. But as you know, when I do this, I look at who played best in their position. You know, Wellesby had a brilliant first 15 minutes against Catalan. But I thought Morg, you know, when you consider it was his debut, wasn't it? It's his debut. He's slotted into a new side. Lovely try, assist, his goal kicking, exemplary on the day. You know, it'd probably go down as one of the most accomplished debuts this season.
I think we're massive fans of Arthur Morg here on this show, even when he's playing second fiddle to Tompkins at Catalan. I think this could be the signing of the season for KR. If he stays injury free, he's class. And you know, we thought Reece Martin might be the difference this season. Reece Martin is obviously out for a while. Arthur Morg, another goal kicker, that kind of maybe cost Hull KR last season, the goal kicking. I think Arthur Morg could very well be the signing of the season. And close your ears, Hull KR fans. Could be the one that sees them finally lift that trophy at the end of the season. And
let's not forget they've got Reece Martin to come back later down.
Exactly.
So that's going to be good. Greg Roach saying after 6 weeks, Dal Powell Coach of the Year candidate. If he carries on, I think there's no doubt about that. You know, I think he gets them in and around that 6th spot.
He was a coach year after 8 weeks rewire. Look how that ended up.
Nothing's won in after 6 rounds, you're right. But at this moment in time, I think Dal Powell's doing really well. Back to the team of the week, Steph. Like I say, painstaking detail goes into this. It will surprise some that Jake Fulis and Riley Lum are picked on the wings. Riley Lum, other than that big error, and it was one error, I thought Riley Lum again, against good opposition in Warrington, really stood up, scored his try well, good meters throughout, really impressed. And as for Jake, you know, guys, let's take a look at this for what it was. A 19-year-old kid going up against Ryan Hall. Hall scored his try. I get that. But Jake Fulis stood toe-to-toe with him for 80 minutes. Got a try of his own, so it was 1-1 on that stakes. I thought Jake Fulis for 19 coming up against that pedigree of Ryan Hall, that was sensational on the night, Steph.
Yeah, it was. And a couple of weeks earlier, we were at the reserve game, which he played, and I thought he had a really good game in that one. But yeah, to go up against Ryan Hall, I thought Thulis was really, really good. Riley Lum as well, very unlucky not to get 2 tries in this one. He had an outreach arm, didn't he? He was just short, but managed to avoid the double movement on that one. But yeah, great to see the young lads in there. I will pay special credit to the Wakefield players. I thought they were outstanding against Lee last Friday, and great to see those players in there. They've probably gone one better than what Lee did in 2023, which is great signs for them in terms of they are real playoff contenders. If you look at Lee, we didn't get our first win till round 5, I think, when we came up. So they're doing outstandingly well, and Darryl Powell definitely should be in the conversation at the moment. Obviously, it's only round 6, but if they carry on that form, 100% they could be a playoff team. So yeah, great to see those lads in. And I think it's all time now where we all put our hands up and say we were wrong about Caesar at Hull FC. I think this guy probably deserves the most praise out of anybody in Super League at the moment. We all criticised the move in terms of his form when he played at Huddersfield and when he played at Leeds. I think he's come into this Hull FC side, and he's the main reason, along with Herman Sasa, they're doing so well. He's been absolutely outstanding for them. He's been superb, and also from a neutral's point of view, a credit to watching the Super League competition.
Absolutely, yeah. Deb Hasty, in Pasty, is that right?
Hasty
as in tasty.
Hasty. As in, yeah, Hasty. Our Debs. Early days, Hull have capitulated in the past. I think they've signed really well. I don't see them capitulating. I think they're certainly they're absolute contenders for the top 6 after 6 rounds.
Price coming in as well.
Exactly. Yeah, with Leon Will coming in as well. So that's going to be interesting as well. But yeah, all interesting stuff. Up the Trin, likes an emoji or 2. But I think Baz is right. Come on, Trin, you've got to stay humble. That's
what I wasn't laughing at you there, Steph. I was laughing at Up the Trin's comment.
Yeah.
So just to clear that, I agree totally what you were saying. I wasn't laughing. I just was laughing at that comment.
Yeah, we've just got to. Yeah, I really like what Wakey are doing. I've seen a few getting a bit carried away and being derogatory towards other fans. We don't do that on Super League Raw. We celebrate the great game of rugby league. We see it as one community. Nobody dies watching rugby league. We enjoy the sport for what it is. We praise. It hurts as any fan. It hurts when you lose a game, but 24, 48 hours later, you've got to be able to look back and take real pleasure in some real quality.
Well, the Blue Bell on Friday night proved that. Leeds fans came in. We had a great laugh. No, there was not a word, not a sharp word said between us. That proves what our community's like. We had a good laugh before the game. We had a good laugh after the game, and we all got on and we went our separate ways, thinking we'd had a great night. So that's the way it is.
Just make a note of Ben's comments. Can't wait to see Magic Mikey storm the west side of the city on Saturday. Just make a note of that, just in case. You just never, ever know, is what I would say on that. I don't know if Price is going to be over for this. Is he going to be here for it?
Apparently, he's been over for a week. From the I don't know if that's just rugby league rumours doing the rounds, but yeah, he could feature it. It'd be great if he did, especially for Hull FC. Obviously, Custy's not going to be playing in this, is he? Because he failed HIA, I think, didn't he? So yeah,
I think this is a great foil for Caesar. Caesar in his current form, they're playing behind a dominant pack. Just that season before he went to the NRL, he was playing some wonderful rugby league for you. Was Will Price. I remember he's still got a bit of learning to do. I can remember him having the odd error as well. But some of the tries he was scoring that last season before he went to the NRL for you, they were very good.
They were, yeah. Willie's a great player, and he's got that. And I can say this because this is something I'd say to him. He's got that good arrogance about him. We don't like arrogance, but we like it when it's directed in the right way. You can see when he enters the field for his warm-up, he just oozes confidence. He doesn't care whether he's in a losing side, winning side. or wherever he's in, he just oozes that confidence. He just knows, he trusts in his own ability. He's such a talent, and he's such a lovely guy. I think those who are Hull fans, they are really lucky to have him. And I think to be able to play alongside Caesar, which I have to say, I've got to say it, I was wrong about Aidan. And I think two kudos needs to be given here to both Hull FC and to Aidan himself. FC have given him a chance, and Aidan is the one that's come back after 2 clubs where he wasn't really successful at, by any stretch of imagination, and he's come back and he's absolutely smashing it. He's really killing it, and I think he's going to be a massive impact and be quite a bit of a role model possibly for Will coming over, because obviously Will and Aidan have played together at Huddersfield, and with the performance that Aidan's putting in, that's just going to rub off on Will very much so.
Absolutely. And, James McDonnell as well. I think he's having a great season at the Rhinos. I think he's playing really, really well indeed. I don't know about you, but when I saw that there from Phil Webster, JWH and Sue versus SASA and Night Tasty, I remember builders in the back of a transit van going, "What will it be for tea tonight? Will it be salad? What is it? Fried onion? Will it be mushrooms? Fried onion
rings?
You'll have to wait and see. Oh, chips. There you go. That's one for the old ones on the show tonight. For you younger ones, go and have a look at some quality advertisements. When advertisements were funnier than the programmes, get on YouTube. Go and put that in. McCain oven chips, transit van, and sing along. It was a great, outstanding stuff. Hey, you never know where we're going to go on Super League Raw.
Apologies for my singing, everybody.
It's all right. It's a good bit of fun. Good bit of fun. Right, okay. Moving at a pace. We've still got the Challenge Cup to discuss. But before that, the man is back with the dulcet tones.
This is Joel Scholes with your Fantasy League update. Let's see who the movers and shakers are for this week.
Well, it's that time again. Apologies, I've not been able to actually get onto my own fantasy league for some reason the past 2 days. So if this is a bit scratchy, I do apologise. But as we can see, we'll look at the top performers of the week. So we're looking there at Amarg on debut. What a brilliant game he's had at 80 points. And then we've got Wardle and Gildart, 64 and 73 points. Briscoe and Sim on the wing there. And then the 2 halfbacks, Ollie Russell. Good for me to see Ollie Russell in there. But Mikey Lewis, wow. I believe I saw a screenshot on the WhatsApp on the members. Someone has Mikey as the captain. So they go over 300 points just alone on Mikey. So well done there. Brilliant. And then we're looking into the forward pack. You got Harry Rushton at 13 with 73 points. No, it wasn't the prop forward at all, was he? Sorry, no. Harry Rushton there with 73 points, and Sember and Walters with 81 and 76. Big SESA with 88 points. McMeekin with 81 and DeCosta with 56. So with all them in your team, you're going to have done really well. And if any of them are your captains, well done to you guys. And then we're going to move on now to the top 3 in the league. So in third place, Steve Richardson, once again not a member. So the Super League Raw merch, unfortunately, isn't going to you. And you have until this Friday to become a member to be entered into this draw. Stuart Scaife, who is a member, is on poll for getting his replica shirt for next season. And Neil Ormston, who is currently a member and is on track for getting his season ticket for next year. So this Friday is the closing. It's your deadline. Please do not miss this opportunity, because there's the merch, the tickets, and the top is all up for grabs. It's still a very long season, so make sure you become a member tonight, so you don't miss the chance for Friday's deadline. And then we move on to the top 10 performers. As we've seen, we've got Neil Armstrong, Stuart Scaife, and Steve Richardson in the top 3. And then we've got Alan Bagley, David Moore, Terry Moon, Alan Bagley again, Steve Broomfield, Ian Rispin, and Mark. Is that Mark? I can't see that. Is it Arnell? Arnell, I think.
Amel.
Yeah, Amel. My apologies. Very, very small, and I don't have the details on me, so apologies again. Like I said, but yeah, not sure who the top performer is this week. Once again, couldn't get that stats for you. Do apologise, but well done, guys, and we'll see you next week.
Well done, Mr. Scholes. Outstanding. The Fantasy League, of course. As Joel says, you've got till Friday. Why wait till Friday? Now, if you're looking at the memberships, there's a few that are keeping quiet on this. If you are looking at the memberships on your phone, there's a little blue arrow underneath the pricing plans. You click that and it gives you the full list of benefits. The benefits are huge, and one of the benefits is, of course, that you can play our fantasy league, and of course, as you saw there, Neil is at the moment got one hand on a season ticket for next year. Also, as well, Stuart, he's got his replica shirt for next year, and the final one, Steve, I think it was. Unfortunately, he's not a member at the moment, so maybe. So there's the QR code. Get on it. We've had Jacob join us tonight. Trust me, when you actually join up and you come to one of our events, you'll be sold. You really will. And as you said earlier on, Greg Roach, Joel, and Bazza Kingston, I'm sure Ryan Burt showed his face as well. People that didn't know each other 2 years ago, all were at the Huddersfield game together. We had a great crowd at the Bluebell. Loads of our members meeting up before games, having a beer. It's what it's all about. That's what Super League Raw is all about, bringing our community together. So join the membership. There is the QR code. And if you're listening to this on a podcast, if you go into the podcast description, there's a link to our website, www.superleagueraw.com. And from there, you can look at our membership page and have a look at our benefits. Marvellous, wonderful stuff. Right, before we move on at a pace, because we've got to have a little look into the goal for tonight for the first time, and the Man of Steel. We're after 5 rounds, so we always have a little nibble in there. But before we do, got to look at the weekend first, haven't we? There we go.
Ooh, pass me a cucumber sandwich.
Yes, it's time for that moment that many people are enjoying now, past the cucumber sandwiches. And, well, yeah, okay, here we go. So let's go first of all. And to be fair, a lot of good ones this week. No real arguments. For example, if you look at the Hull FC game against Cass, Caesar got 3, SASE got 2, Briscoe 1. No arguments there, gentlemen. Everybody's got to be pretty pleased with that. I would have thought that's pretty good. So the cucumber sandwiches clearly are not of the right standard at the Jungle. We then go to Lee, where, to be fair, the cucumber sandwiches are always fresh. They went Meekin for 3, they went Pitts for 2, and they went Hood for 1. So again,
That's fair enough.
I mean, fair play to him. Maybe the cucumber inspired them to get it right. Good effort on that occasion. Got to give them the due on that. We then go to the wire. It's fair, it gets a little bit tasty. Right, 3 points, Connor. No arguments with that. Then it gets a bit silly. 2 for Aaron Lindop.
For his try.
But all round, come on, it's an 8-minute game. I get it. It's like Johnny Lomax at the Catalan game. Yes, he kicks. Good game, actually, Johnny Lomax. He had a really good game.
Best of the season, I think, Johnny Lomax.
But, it's who gets you into that position. It's who does the grunt. It's who gets your tackles in. And, sometimes it's too easy to just say, oh, it's the guy who got the drop goal. Yes, Aaron's try was, will be on everybody's highlight reel at the end of the season. There's no doubt about that. It's one of the tries of the season. We know that. Sorry, man of the match on Sky as well. No. And then they gave Handley a point. They gave Ash Handley a point, lads.
Yeah.
Ash Handley a point. Now, just to clarify this, he tackled 15 times and he carried the ball for 71 metres. He was in a side where O'Connor tackled 47 times in the game. McDonnell, who was in our team of the week, 41
Let's
times.
go, McDonnell. McDonnell needs to be in the points. He needed to be in the points.
McDonald was great. Yeah, he was very good in this game.
We're going to come back to the Saints game. We'll go to the Wigan game. December 3, no arguments with that. 2 for Walters. Had a good game, Sammy Walters. No arguing with that.
You know, that was probably his best game for a while.
Played well.
Because
Yeah.
he's not covered himself in glory a lot of the time in his Wigan career so far. So.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Garibo, no wobbles this week. It will be back in the future, but we have no wobbles this week because we've got other things that we've got in the show. But it will come back. You can't expect it every week, but it will probably be back next week. Field 1 point for them. We then go to the one at the John Smiths. 3 for Mikey Lewis. That was a shoo-in. 2 for Sue. I say again, I disagree with that. Sue, you know, when you've won a game by 50 points, how can you give a forward points? It's you know, when it's blowouts like that, it's a back show. And
Gildart should have been.
Yeah, Gildart. Yeah.
No, hang on, lads. It gets worse. They didn't give Gildart a point. They didn't give Gildart a point. They gave Morg a point. They gave a point to JWH. I mean, what? Joel, help me out with that. How does Sue and JWH in a 54-4 drubbing get points over the likes of Gildart, Morg, Lytton?
Well,
I agree with Bazza. I thought Morg was worthy of 2 points.
The KR fans need to get in the chat and tell us whether they think JWH deserved a point.
Well, let me tell you, nothing that Sue or JWH did that was any better than our forward pack. Now, I know that might be funny to some of you, but if you was there watching the first half, you'll see toe to toe, there was nothing between the forwards. But then and that's why the score was 16-4 at half time. There wasn't that much in it. The second half was won by the backs, and that's where we was put under the pump, and that's where all the points came from. I said to Bazza at half time, I said, "You're going to get 5 tries here in the last second half," and there was more than 5 tries, and that was because it was run by the backs, not the forwards. No, that's wrong.
Alex, no, not on a 54-4, mate. Not on a 54-4. Yes, forwards win a game, backed by how much, but on a 54-4, mate, no. And I tell you what makes it even more laughable. And, you know, we celebrate the great game of rugby league, the tries, the performances. That's what we do. But we hold journalism to account because they have a responsibility to report on our sport accurately. Or else we're never going to get the respect we deserve. Now, where I've got an issue with this, if I'm going to concede to Alex, which I'm not, but if I was going to concede to Alex's view over forwards, then why didn't Jai Whitbread get a point? Because he did 131 metres for 18 carries. He did 9 tackle busts. He tackled 17 times and he got a try. Compare that to JWH, who did nearly half those metres, didn't do a tackle bust all game and only did 15 tackles. And you know, even Sue, I mean, he did more. He did 144 metres from 14, but he didn't tackle bust as much. He didn't tackle as much. So how Whitbread got overlooked, if we're going to give it to a forward, I will never know.
Just on that, Dave, as well. I got pelters from Alex for picking Jai Whitbread to score a try. How did that one work out, pal?
Yeah, absolutely. But here we go. Right now, I'm not obviously we don't name names, but here we go. This is all that is wrong with the with certain Player of the Season awards. Okay, here we go. Now, why are we saying this? For those who are new to the show, we do our own. We do the Super League World Trophy. We're going to dip into that in a moment. And what we do is we do the 3-2-1 like the Man of Steel and the Albert Goldthorpe do. But anybody who gets in our Team of the Week, they get an extra point. Anybody who gets into Team of the Month, they get 2 extra points. And then if they're the Player of the Month, they get 3 points. So we actually reward consistency here at Super League Raw, whereas the other 2, it's just a 3-2-1 in a game. Somebody could win Man of Steel by having half a good season. But here we go. This has really got me a bit angry. A bit angry. I don't get angry much, but I'm going to get angry now. Let's go to Perpignan. 3 points to Sam Tompkins. Now, of course, it had to be Tompkins, but I've got no issue with that. You know, we know that the Albert Goldthorpe like a bit of Sam Tompkins. No issue with that. He had a great game.
He was great.
He had a great game. Okay. Now, he was the player of the match for Catalan. Tristan Saylor was given the player of the match for St. Helens. So how many points did Tristan Saylor get? 2 or 1?
None.
Correct. 2 for Lomax, and the player of the match doesn't get a point. Now, can somebody explain that to me, please?
Wow.
Can somebody explain how you can have a credible man of the season award when you're saying in your article, in writing, that the best player in a Saints shirt was Tristan Saylor, but in the 3-2-1, you give the 2 points to Johnny Lomax? Can somebody help me out on that?
It's what I've always, I call it the Tedesco effect. James Tedesco in Australia could bring the kicking tee on and will get man of the match award. It's the same over here. It's the names that make the headlines, not the performances. And that's where the media's wrong. Sam Tompkins, yeah, he had a great game. But again, Sam Tompkins could bring the water bottles on and would still get man of the match.
But he played well at the weekend.
It's names, not performances, because that's what sells the headlines, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That's the media. And having worked in the media, I know how it works. It's not necessarily who has the best who has the best game. It's who people recognise and who they want to win those awards. The agenda is who they want. James Roby, the first time he won Man of Steel, he didn't even play half a season, and he won Man of Steel. It's an agenda to get those names out there, and that's the way it works. Unfortunately, it's not always the best performers, the best players, the most consistent performers who get the awards that they deserve.
I don't even think that
it's the Tedesco effect.
I don't even think Saylor was Saints' best player. I thought Walmsley was.
Well, that's what. And neither was Lomax. But the point here is, right, that has been published. That has been published. St. Helens player of the match, Tristan Saylor. Albert Goldthorpe, 2 points, Johnny Lomax. It's a nonsense. That's why we do the cucumber sandwiches. That is why we hold them to account, because you've got to get that right. You've got to get, like forward passes in games, you've got to get it right. And as a journalist, you've got time to think. So please, come on. I mean, we've given pats on the back. There's a lot to like in the points this week. There was some really good close games, and rightly so, people got mentions. But that, for me, it's just laughable. Laughable. And this is why maybe we're getting more and more people watching us, because we'll do the detail. We'll hold people to account. We'll give you some great viewing, and we'll celebrate this wonderful game. So that's enough of the criticism, or is it?
See, Craig Forth makes a good point. Bevan French had man of the match in Challenge Cup and Grand Final before the game kicked off. They talk up players. They mention players. Every time something happens, look at Sean O'Loughlin. He was forever third in the tackle, but the commentator would say, great tackle by Sean O'Loughlin there. Craig Forth's right, and that's not because he's a Wigan player, Craig, by any stretch of imagination. There are others that are equally as guilty. But yeah, it's an agenda by the media that gets the household names, the prizes, because they think it's what we want as fans. And it's not. As fans of any team, we want the best player to win the award.
100%. Speaking of awards, Mr. Roach, Mr. Nixon won an award for his brilliant coverage as part of the Warrington Guardian for the Warrington bombing, sir. He's a journalist of the highest stature. He just doesn't go around telling people about it, is what I would say. So they are not.
Cheers, Dave.
I know he's only joking, but you know what I mean? It's your turn next, Steph. He's coming your way next. He always has a go at me at the end of the show.
I'm sure he is.
He's the names of each. We do love a bit of Mr.
And Mr. Roach, as you can see, I'm only 23. I had a really hard paper round.
Sunday papers.
All I would say to Mr. Roach, like any good fish, get back on your perch. Anyway, let's. Steady. He loves me. I can get away with that. Anyway, should we have a dip into the Player of the Year awards?
I think we should.
For the first time this season, let's check in on who the runners and riders are in this year's race for Player of the Season. Here we go. It's time to take our first look at the Player of the Year awards and how they're shaping up thus far. Starting with the Albert Goldthorpe medal. Leading their table after 6 rounds is Jake Conn of the Leeds Rhinos with 11 points. Aidan Seasbury second with 9. Mikey Lewis and Jack Wellsby joint third with 8 points apiece. And Jack Field of the Wigan Warriors have 7. the Steve Prescott Man of Steel. After 5 rounds, Herman SASA and Jake Connor lead with 8 points. Aidan Caesar and Nick Kotrick of the Catalan Dragons have 7 points, whilst Jamila Hanley of the Lee Leopards has 6 points. The Super League Raw Trophy 2025. We have joint leaders, both Aidan Caesar and Herman SASA of Hull FC with 14 points. Harry Robertson is next with 13 points, whilst Mikey Lewis and Junior Ensemba both have 12 points after 6 rounds. These are the Player of the Year awards tables thus far in the 2025 Betfred Super League. So there you go. They are the league tables at this stage of the season. Herman SASA, Aidan Caesar doing well, Mikey Lewis doing well. We'd expect that, wouldn't we? Nick Kotrick's been good, but should it be top 5?
He's been all right, hasn't he? But there've been better players. There've been better players.
I have to say, I was quite surprised when I saw that he was in the top 5 for Man of Steel. Steph, your thoughts?
Yeah, I wouldn't have had Kotrick in there. Definitely not. I think he's probably underperformed a little bit, but I think that's down to the way Catalan started the season. Hopefully he'll kick on, but yeah, I wouldn't have him in the top 5. Definitely not.
No, it's very interesting. Of course, we'll dip back into that around round 10, and we'll see how those are progressing. Of course,
somebody just scan the code.
Somebody's just scanned the code. Hopefully we're going to get another member. Carl has asked in the chat, how do you get tickets for Magic? You get your own with Magic because, of course, you can get them cheaper through your membership with your clubs, but we're all going in the East Stand. It's unreserved seating, so all Super League Raw members, we're going to meet outside the ground, and then we're going to go in and sit together in the East Stand. So get your tickets from your club. You'll get them cheaper with your season tickets, and we will be meeting up before the game. And who knows, we might be having somebody else join us because, as Greg rightly said, somebody scanned the QR code. Hopefully we get a second person join up this evening while we're live on the show. That will be absolutely marvellous. And apologies to those members who have yet to have their heritage number certificate sent through. That will be with you this week. And Miss Kirby, if you're watching all the way, I know she's away on holiday again, but your hoodie has arrived. It's on its way to you. So you haven't got long to wait. Right, before we get into the Challenge Cup, it would be amiss of us today to not collar a friend of the show. It was lovely to see Jenna Brooks today at the launch of the Women's Super League. Of course, Jenna has been an in-conversation guest. She's always very hospitable with Super League Raw when she sees us around the grounds. And she took a few moments out of her day to say hello to the greatest community in Rugby League, Super League Raw.
Scan the code.
And somebody else scanned the code. Here comes Jenna.
So here we are with friend of the show, Jenna Brooks. Jenna, Super League Raw community,
Hello.
as always. It's been a while since we had the in conversation.
Yes.
So Super League season thus far, your thoughts?
Exciting. Probably the most exciting one we've had so far. You go into every game and you've got no idea what the result's going to be, which is exactly what we want, isn't it?
Absolutely. Like us, are you most surprised by Hull FC this year?
Yeah, I think so. However, John Cartwright, I know what kind of coach he is. They brought in some great players, haven't they? John Asiata's been sensational. Herman SASA, Aidan Caesar. So yes, I am probably surprised, but also I think it's fantastic. It's fantastic for the game. How good is it to have 2 strong Hull teams?
Absolutely, first and second. And of course, we're here today for the Women's Super League launch, something that you're very passionate about. Why should those who just watch Men's Super League tune into Women's Super League this year?
Well, it's brilliant. It's different to the men's game, equally as competitive. We have 4 extremely strong teams in the competition. Wigan Warriors are on the rise up. You've got St Helens, who dominate year in, year out, although York Valkyrie are going for 3 Super League titles in a row, and then, of course, the Leeds Rhinos. But it's brilliant. It's fierce, it's fiery, it's brutal, it's everything that you want in a rugby league game, and you've got it here. And the women, they certainly impressed.
Absolutely. And 6 rounds in, I'm gonna hold you now. 6 rounds in, who is your favourite for the Super League title this year?
Well, I went Warrington at the start of the year. I feel like I can't switch yet.
They'll let you.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I think Hull KR look outstanding. Mikey Lewis, just yeah, potentially. Yeah, if he keeps going. I mean, last week he was absolutely phenomenal against Huddersfield. I think I'm probably leaning towards Hull KR, and then obviously Wigan. I think Wigan will probably may do it again. I don't know. I'll just name every team and then I'll be right. Okay.
And the Women's Super League, who are you going for?
Oh, I think I'm going to have to go St Helens. I think St Helens in 2025. I think they will win the Challenge Cup for a 5th year in a row, and I think that they might knock York off and beat them in the grand final.
Well, if you see Jenna knocking around the stadiums, go over, say Super League Raw sent you. She'll have a photograph and she'd be love to say hi to you. But Jenna, on behalf of everybody at Super League Raw, thanks for sparing us your time.
Thanks for having me.
Absolute class is our Jenna. She absolutely loves Super League Raw. She's always very, very big supporter of us. So really pleased with that. And Greg, yeah, you're right. I did make her look young, but she did say to say hello to me granddad. So hello from Jenna. Anyway, moving. No, Mr. Roach. He's carrying on playing tennis with me. Just I don't know.
Jenna has joined the White Hoodie fan club, by the way. Just
absolutely.
Yeah. So she was lovely. Did you notice she kept looking at me and Greg behind the camera?
Yeah. By all accounts, she goes.
Well, I was shaking for the camera.
That's what you're doing, yeah.
Jenna Sharon Brooks. There's Jacob Dale in the chat. Welcome to Super League Raw, Jacob.
Welcome,
great
Mr.
to have
Dale.
you as a new member this evening. There are more people that have done the QR code. Hopefully, we will have more as the day goes on. But yeah, all good stuff. Great to hear from Jenna. I'm sure she'll be back on later in the season, which will be absolutely marvellous as well. Right, okay, only one real thing to do. We are about to go and have a quick look at the Challenge Cup, but forgive me, there is a competition and the draw will be made at the end of April to come to the Challenge Cup with Super League Raw. It's a prize draw. All proceeds will be going to Grassroots Rugby League. We're very passionate here at Super League Raw at growing the game at all levels. So this is a great opportunity for you to come to Wembley as our guest. 2 tickets up for grabs, but also to do your part in supporting Grassroots Rugby League. There is just 4 weeks to go before this one comes down. I think the draw will take place either the last show of April, first show of May. This is how you get involved.
There is just nothing like the Challenge Cup final. Today, Super League Raw announced our biggest competition ever. Regardless of which 2 teams will be playing, Super League Raw will be there with our members to celebrate an epic day of rugby league at the home of British sports. Join the Super League Raw family at the Challenge Cup final on the 7th of June at Club Wembley. All members are automatically included as per their membership. But if you want your chance of being at Club Wembley on the 7th of June 2025, then get over to our website where tickets are just £2 to enter this prize draw. And perhaps the best news is that you will be supporting Grassroots Rugby League through Super League Raw in 2025. So don't hesitate. Buy your ticket now, support local rugby league, and maybe we will see you at the Challenge Cup final in Club Wembley. Super League Raw, it just keeps getting better.
It just keeps getting better. So get yourself over to the website. If you go into the shop, you can get 10 entries for £10. Members, you automatically get 3 entries if you're a Team Talk member, 2 entries if you're 6 again, and 1 entry if you are an 18-man. So Bazza Kingston, you have 13 entries because you bought 10 tickets, and you of course get 3 for being a Team Talk member. So you've got 13 entries, my friend. But like I say, the clock is ticking. Say that. What's that, mate?
Unlucky 13, that Bazzy. You might have to get some more tickets.
Yeah, that's true, actually. Yeah, you might need to buy an extra 1 or 2. But no, look, this is what being part of Super League Raw is all about. Great community, great fun, great competitions, giving money back to Grassroots Rugby League. Yeah,
Absolutely marvellous, wonderful stuff. So keep a part of it, folks. Don't miss out. Right, okay. Let's get into the detail of this little beauty. Here it comes. The quarter-finals, gentlemen, are upon us. Some absolute belting games that have probably been helped by the narrative of the weekend. Starting with, of course, that one there at the top. Wakefield Trinity taking on Lee Leopards. Of course, we don't include these as part of the Prediction League. We will, of course, let you know where we're up to with the Prediction League next week. We'll keep people waiting on that one. But we don't actually do predictions for the Challenge Cup, but we will have a good chat for the next 20 minutes or so around these games. Wakefield Trinity taking on the Lee Leopards, of course. An exceptional win for Wakefield at the LSV. This is taking place at the DIY Kitchen Stadium, or Bellevue, if you prefer. Great. I mean, great. It just couldn't be teed up any better. Had Lee have won game one, people might be looking at this going, it could happen. Wakey could win, but we expect Lee to win. The fact that Lee got, a sizable score put on him, it was a competitive game for large periods. All of a sudden, this is now right on everybody's radar, mate, in terms of this will go either way. And it's going to be, I think, a proper, to quote Rocky, who wants it more?
You're right, Dave. And how many times do we see cup ties played the week after those two teams have played each other, or the week before they play each other? I think Lee will be stinging. Lee will be angry. Lee will be desperate for revenge. Wakefield can't win at home. They can win away. They can't win at home. I'm going to upset a lot of people here.
Don't do it, Reggie. Don't do it.
Sorry, Steph. I think Lee are going to win this because they're hurting. They were embarrassed by Wakefield, and Wakefield can't win at home. I don't know what it is about them this season. They can't win at home. Lee have got a cup pedigree as well. Lee have been to Wembley. Lee have done well in the cup. I think Lee probably close. I think 1-9. Lee Leopards are going to win this.
The chat's gone mad, and we're 2 games away from it. Bazza begging and pleading that you don't pick KR. Mark Hill begging and pleading that you do because you got Bazza on speed dial. Good lad, Mark. Loving that, mate. That's absolute.
I'm so pleased that you have so much faith in my pick.
Hey, you're top of the Prediction League, mate. I tell you, it's a blessing. It's a blessing this year. Absolute different class. Joel, Wakefield Lee. When there in that wonderful fresh air up in the Yorkshire Hills, were you surprised when you looked at your phone on Friday night and saw the score coming from the LSV?
I was very, yeah. I was very surprised. I thought Lee would do it. Not by a lot, but to see the score, it was just. I had to double check. It really surprised me. I really don't see this happening again, though it's possible. I think normally.
I don't see it happening again, but it's possible. Great line. Carry on, mate.
It is because naturally we'd normally say, "Well, you're going to come back." And give them a good thumping. But Wakefield have been that good this season so far, we just can't say that. You'd be wrong to. I think Lee are going to win because I don't think they want to allow it to happen twice in a row, but if they're going to win, it's between 1-8.
Well, we thought it was going to be tight at the LSV, but on a scoreline, it certainly wasn't. In the chat, Andy Bibby saying that Mulhern back, Steph, maybe back, and that'd be huge. What are you hearing on Mulhern? Do you think he's back for this one?
Well, Adrian Lamb, I think, confirmed it today that he will be back for this game. So that's fantastic from a Lee point of view in terms of that. The battle with the Wakefield forwards and Mike McMeekin. The biggest thing for Lee, I think, was the meters, what the forwards made. If we had obviously going into the stats and stuff, which you did in the sheds, they dominated Lee in that forward battle. So if Lee are going to have any chance of going to Wakefield and winning, Mulhern's going to have a big say in that. But also, you've got to factor in that he's been out for so long. It's been 4 weeks since Mulhern's played. So fitness is going to be a thing for him in this one as well. I do see it being a bit different of a game, this one. I may be completely wrong. But there was fine margins in that Lee Wakefield game, and Wakefield rightly won those fine margins against Lee at the Sports Village. Will they get the same fine margins again? Well, that's down to Lee. But I bumped into Edwin Ipape outside the ground at Lee today, and he said they're well up for this one. So I think, I'm not saying Wakefield won't win this. I think it's just going to be a bit of a closer game. But what I would say is, regardless of the result, I think it'd be great to have Wakefield in the next round. Just to go, I know how much it meant to the Lee fans to get to Wembley. It would be great for a team like Wakefield to get to Wembley and replicate what they've done, the similar path in terms of the AB Sundex going and doing that, and then get to Wembley again. That would be incredible for the Wakefield fans. So either way, it's going to be a fantastic game, I think, this one. And even better news, I think it's been announced today that it's going to be broadcast on Super League Plus. So we're going to get 3 games televised, not just the 2, which is fantastic news for rugby league enthusiasts.
Absolutely. And I'm surprised the Sportsmen haven't picked up their rights to show a Challenge Cup game. They normally pick a game up to the quarters, so I'm quite surprised the Sportsmen haven't picked up
the one that isn't is Catalan, isn't it? So they've got to have to send somebody or pay for French broadcasting to do it. So
shame. I'm really pleased though that Edwin bumped into you, having missed 15 tackles in the last 2 games. It's good to see he's got his radar back. That's good news. That's really good news.
Don't go annoyed. Hey, listen.
Mate,
next time we're at the Sports Village, I'll let you tell him that, Dave.
Absolutely. I'll give him a big kiss and a cuddle and tell him how much I love the fact that he lives behind you, my friend. I'm sure he'll be very receptive of the constructive criticism. He's got to have less Vaseline on his hands so he can get a better grip, sir. Anyway, moving swiftly on.
He did say he was watching tonight. So
is he? Edwin, sir, good evening. Hope you are well. And may I just say that even though you missed 6 tackles at the weekend, my friend, I did actually think that the 18 that you made were of the highest quality. Anyway, moving swiftly on. Craig,
we'll forget the Vaseline comment.
It's one for the kids. Right, anyway, Craig 4th. Lee now the underdogs. Never thought I'd say that with them playing against Wakefield. And I have to say, Wigan are underdogs this week. Oh, hang on, we're not playing. Yeah, how remiss of me not to remember that. Oh, dearie me. Anyway, we move on. Anyway, not so worry. Good evening, Mr. 4th. Hope you are well. More playing time with the princesses, sir. Anyway, moving on. Carla Collier in the chat. Good evening, Carla. Robbie should make a difference down the middle. I don't know what I'm more impressed with here. In fact, I'm very impressed with Carla because kids are in bed by 8. She's at least a good bottle of vino in, and she's still with us. Well done, Carla. That's proper commitment this evening. Loving it. Absolutely loving it. Fantastic fun. Stephen Rudge is with us as well. Wakey did against Wire a few years back, going back to back in League and Cup. Up the Trin may be tough. I'm not taking anything for granted here. I think the Trin, they will be up for it. And I think what it will have done, Steph, is it will have given them more belief in this. To go to any club of that stature. I mean, and Lee are a team of stature. They've been in the playoffs for the last couple of years. They won the Challenge Cup 2 years ago. They are a team now that, for the likes of a Castleford and for the likes of a Wakey and any team that was to come up from the Championship, Lee would be classed as a club where we're going to have a tough day at the office today. So to come away from the LSV with a win, like they did at Warrington, should give them confidence in Cup Rugby League. The problem is, at the moment, for whatever reason, they're just not winning at home. And, how frightening would their league position have been if they could get a win at home?
Well, very, very close games at home, which they could have easily won as well. I think OKR was a point, wasn't it? And that's against one of the best teams in the comp. This Wakefield team are a superb side. But it's just about keeping that going for 27 rounds. And I'm not saying they can't do that. I'm sure they can. And if they do, you know, they're going to be troubling a lot of teams in Super League.
Yeah.
Just to answer Andy as well in the chat, Charlie's not playing in this one. He had fluid on his knee. He's probably 2 weeks away. Another great player for Leeds to get back at one we've missed, but hopefully he should be back in the next couple of weeks. But no, Wakefield will be targeting this one. It's a massive game. They'll have got huge confidence from the way they played at Sportsman. It's like I said earlier, they were outstanding against Lee. But it's all teed up for a cracking game. I don't think they're going to get it all the way like they did at the Sports Village. There was some 50-50 stuff that went their way. We always need luck in this sport. Sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it goes against you. I could be completely wrong. They could put 40 on us again, but I just think it may be a bit closer this time.
It's going to be a great game. It's going to be a great way to kick us off on Friday night. I, for one, will be tuning in to that little beauty, I have to say. And yeah, let's just hope it's a great game. And, you know, we were talking about this today with the likes of Jenna, and Dennis Betts was another person that Greg interviewed. You'll be seeing that on Super League Raw. And I think everybody in that room was delighted, and the journos as well, on how competitive this season has started. And if it carries on, albeit with the quality improving as the fitness improves, etc., if it can carry on being as close, but with that added quality that we would expect mid-season onwards, we're in for a great year 2025. You know, don't let that off the field stuff distract you. We've got a wonderful sport. When those boys go over that whitewash and they get on that field of play, this is the greatest sport on earth. Forget all the politics, forget all the stuff that's going on outside it. Just keep your sanity, folks. Just enjoy the rugby league. Absolutely outstanding. Catalan Dragons taking on Salford Red Devils in Perpignan. I, for one, very interested to see. It will be tomorrow at 12:30, I'm guessing, when we see the squad of Salford. Because if they pick a strong squad, which we saw them do at Midland Hurricanes earlier in the rounds, Catalan are getting better. Catalan should win. But again, you know, Joel, things aren't right in Perpignan at the moment. You know, the fans down there, there's a bit of unrest. I think looking at social media, not as much criticism this week. I mean, only lost by a point. But, you know, our Steve's on a knife edge down there. Getting through's all that matters. If he doesn't, he's in big trouble. And this would be massive for Salford, because this is the only thing really that Paul and the players, for me, realistically, have got to play for.
100%. They've failed to flatter immensely this season. I think we all kind of predicted them to do pretty well based off the signings that they made, and they've just not come good on any of them promises. It's quite incredible how this season's gone so far. This is the game where Catalan really have to put the foot down on the gas here. They really need to put in a good performance, because if not, there's a few issues. Number one, you know, Steve and his job. Is he going to have his job at the end of it? You know, because this has been a couple of seasons now where this has been mentioned, and of course we don't want to spread rumours or news, but it's just as we see it as fans. You know, with Salford having the troubles that they're having, how can a team like Catalan, with the squad they've got, lose to them? And that's zero disrespect to any of the Salford players or squad or club. It's just with everything that's going on and not being able to field a full squad, Catalan realistically should be able to win this with some quite comfortable ease. And if we don't see that, which is possible, then, you know, we've got a real story on his hands here. But then it also says a little bit more about Salford too.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Steph, you can't say anything about Catalan, can you?
Well, I was just, as Joe was talking then, I was thinking to myself, wouldn't it just be sod's law that this turns out to be the closest game, the one that's not televised, and turns into an absolute classic? Salford, I don't think they had anyone apart from Chris Hill from 2 to 12. I think he was in their squad against Wigan. I expect a few of those players will come back for this one. No more so than Nicarima. You know, a few of those that said they had hamstring injuries and a few other things. I think Salford might be targeting this game in terms of you're right in what you're saying. This is their best opportunity at progressing for anything towards silverware this season, based on what we've seen so far. But I do just think it's going to be sod's law. It will be like a golden point or something daft like that. And it wouldn't surprise me. You know, Salford have got quality in that team. If they can get the best team what they've got at that club at the moment, they're still a threat to it. That team finished 4th in Super League last season, and there's not many that are missing. Obviously, you got Lafay and players like that. But yeah, it's going to be a really interesting game, and I'm just gutted we can't watch it.
Greg, can you see anything but a Catalan win, or do you think Salford could do it?
I think Salford have just lost too much quality. They've lost a lot of good players. Lafay, Sneed. As Steph said, everybody is predicting a Catalan win. And it would just be sod's law that Salford win it. I can't see it myself. No. I really can't. You know, sometimes in sport, there are games, there are fixtures where you think there's a shoe-in for a win and it goes against the grain. This is not the one. I think there's too many problems. I think there's too much controversy behind the scenes. If Salford did win, I think McNamara might be on the next plane back to England. But I can't see Salford winning this. Yeah, Catalan have lost Morg. They've got a few injury problems. But no, I think Catalan are going to win this. I think they're going to win this quite easily, to be honest.
I didn't say, by the way, I'm going to go Salford.
Right. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, because let's be fair, it's very difficult to get excited over that. And it's not often that you would class a Warrington St. Helens game as being second fiddle. But it is. What a game on Saturday. That, for me, is just, it's fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. There is nothing. I mean, you know, yes, there's a few points difference in the league there. It's round 6. But statistically speaking, KR from deep, really, really clinical. You know, we saw that against Huddersfield. You know, that KR that can run from deep. FC need to keep 17 players in play. They're 4 yellow cards this season thus far. They cannot afford to lose a player on Saturday at any point during that game. That could just be the bit that wins it for KR. KR have got the ability in a 10-minute spell to score 2-3 tries, and they could easily do that, because what we've seen with KR over the last 2 years, they don't half play the edges well. They really do. They know how to get the ball out wide. They've got players there. I mean, Hiku at the weekend, you know, we talked about Gildart, we talked about Moore, we talked about Lewis. Hiku had a blinder. He had a blinder on the right edge. You know, he was outstanding. And then equally, you know, FC, you know, a pack that won't take a backward step. We know KR's got a good pack. That's a fascinating battle. If Pricey plays, how's he going to settle in? Does he play in? Is he the, you know, again, you talk about narratives. Could Will Price play and walk away man of the match and be that? It's just so fascinating. I can't remember a time as a neutral where I was more excited about a whole derby than this one. Can you, Greg?
No. This is going to be a great game. Well, I hope it's going to be. It has the potential to be a great game. Hull at home. Let's hope the Hull fans turn out, because that stadium is 3/4 full. The atmosphere will be fantastic in there. I'm torn on this one, you know. I really am. I'm going to throw it out to the chat. Who should I vote for? Who should I say is going to win this? Let's put it out in the chat. Go round to the other guys, and then when I've seen who's in the chat, I'm going to decide who I'm going to go for. That's how on the fence I am. Not who I'm going to go for, who I'm not going to go for.
Well, and for those in the chat who are thinking about it, yes, he does do a very fine impression of Natalie Imbruglia. Steph, over to you.
You know, I think well, what better way to spend your Saturday afternoon? This is going to be an absolute classic, isn't it? It's all built up for it. Two teams banging form. A sold out MKM Stadium. It's just going to be fantastic viewing for everybody, isn't it? And I hope they knock 10 bells out of each other. I hope it's a real proper derby game. Lots of controversy, loads of video ref decisions, maybe even a bit of biff that you're allowed in this one. No, it's they're going to be playing two tribes go to war, aren't they? It's just going to happen. I'm getting excited just talking about it. I think it's going to be an absolute classic, and along with Reggie, it's too hard to predict. It's so hard to predict. On actual squad, you're going to go Hull KR all day, aren't you? But in terms of passion and the way Hull FC have shown up this season, you just can't call it in a derby. You can't. But I'm going to call it. Hull KR are going to win.
What I would say here, Joel, we all saw the Wigan documentary, which was absolutely outstanding, and the Robins' behaviour before the Wigan game did Matt Pete's team talk for him in terms of ghetto blasters and all that kind of stuff. They can ill afford to go into this game overly confident because Hull FC are playing too well. If they go into this game with their mind's not fully focused on the job ahead, if they go in there thinking we're Hull KR, we're going to smash them, you've got to earn the right. And I think FC deserve that level of respect, the way they've started the season. The KR need to go with the right mentality, Joe.
100% to do, yeah. The way I see this game is, and the way to decide who wins it, you're going to have to break it down. So you look at the forward pack. For me, it neutralises itself because you've got SASA on one side and you've got GWH on the other. Okay, so that for me is neutralised there. You can't pick out of them two. They're unreal. You look at the halves. You've got Aidan Caesar and then you've got Mikey Lewis. Now, if Will Price does come in and plays, you might then have a bit more potential class with FC because Aidan is very good at marshalling the troops and Will is extremely good at just being off the cuff and just doing whatever he wants to do and finding plays and coming out with something from nothing. So then it kind of leaves you outside backs, and I think this is where KR shine more than anyone. The outside backs of KR is unreal. You've got even Jez Litton you can put within there. I know he's at 9, but Jez Litton, you've got Hiku, you've got all Tyrone May, all these incredible players who are tomorrow electric, absolutely electric, and they're going to play some throw rugby, that champagne rugby, that ball's going to be thrown out everywhere.
Tied though, Joel. Morg's cut out.
He's not allowed to play, is he not? Oh yeah, of course.
Broadbent will be a fullback.
There you go. Broadbent again, class player. What a replacement he is. So you look at the players that they've got. For me, I think KR just tips it, but only from their outside backs. But you look at the rest of the squad, that is a tasty fixture. And it can only be within a 1 to 8. This really has brought the derby back in the Hull derby for me. And it's just mouthwatering. I cannot wait to watch this one. And I'm not saying that Hull KR are going to win this. It's just how I see it. FC have got all the capabilities in this world to do KR as well. And that's what makes this such a wonderful fixture.
Quite right.
Greg,
Greg Roach wants me to vote for world peace. Really, Greg, you don't want me to vote for
No,
world
don't
peace.
do that. Not since
I'm going to go.
Gregory David's talking.
Dave.
Gregory David's talking.
I'm going to go for Hull KR. I'm going to go for Hull KR.
And David's talking.
Yeah,
not since red bikinis, slow motion shots has Saturday fair been as good as this. This is going to be absolutely wonderful. Really looking forward to it. Don't get me wrong, Brad Fash is a poor man's Pamela Anderson. But anyway, what can you do? But hey, what a game it's going to be. Greg's going Hull KR. Steph, you're going?
KR.
And Joel, you're going?
KR.
I'm going FC just so that we can really take the mick out of Carl next week. That'd be good fun on the show, wouldn't it? Anyway, finally, it's going to be Warrington against Saints. Again, Warrington 5 in a row. Can they make it 6? No Warrington fan's going to be confident going into this. That's just the measure of these type of games. And I think Saints will feel exactly the same way. Joel, I'll start with you. Warrington Saints, 6 in a row, or does Saints win the most important game against Warrington thus far this season?
I think it's not Warrington's year like that, but I think this is Warrington's time to certainly shine in the Challenge Cup for sure. You've got the home advantage. You've got some incredible players. I know Saints have, but I just see this going the way of the wire. The form is getting better. We're seeing some really good players playing. Look at Lindop's try. I know it's a one-moment thing, but that's all it takes in the Challenge Cup. Yeah. All it takes is one spectacular try to win it. And you've got the players for that. You've got the speed, you've got the fitness, the stamina, you've got the strength. You've got everything for me. I think that just tips you to win it.
It's going to be fascinating. Steph, who do you see winning this one?
Yeah, I think this is going to be another really, really tight game. Both sides coming off the back of victories and good victories as well. Yeah, it's going to be a really, really tight game. I just think that with the performance of Matty Lees and Walmsley against Catalan, I think that's going to be a real advantage for Saints in this game. And Lomax will take a lot of confidence from his performance as well, as will Wellesby at fullback. It's going to depend on the teams, I think, at the end of the day on this one, who's actually playing for Warrington, who's playing for St Helens. It could come down to another golden point drop goal situation. So I'm going to pick Saints. I'm sorry.
How very dare you, sir.
Greg, how are you seeing it?
Another one, too close to call. 6 can Wire make it 6 on the bounce against Saints. Not a lot of teams have won 6 on the bounce against Saints. I'm going to tell you my reason. I can't go to this game because in their infinite wisdom, they've decided to kick the Warrington Wolves Women Challenge Cup game against Cardiff off at home half an hour earlier than the Warrington game against St Helens. Let's grow the women's game. Anyway, I can't go to that game, to the Warrington game, and for that reason, I'm going to predict a Warrington win because when I don't go, they win. That's me being banned from every Warrington game for the rest of the
season. With that one.
No, I'm going to go. No, joking aside, I think Warrington have got just too much. The pack, Saints pack, is probably better than the Wire pack, but Warrington's backs, if they're all back, are better than the Saints backs. The half backs for Warrington are better than the Saints backs. Walmsley Duffy is quite an equal battle, I would say. But, our back line is better than their back line. Their forwards just edge it. But if we have Max Wood on the bench, he is our secret weapon. That Max Wood is magnificent. And he has to come. He has to be on the bench. He has to come off the bench. And if he does, Warrington will win it.
Aidy saying I'm worried. I'm never worried, Aid. Never worried. You know what I mean? Like, sport is sport, sir. It's going to be a great game of rugby league. It's going to be drama. It's going to be edge of the seat stuff. What more do you want? What do you want? And if you come out, I'm a great believer. It's not how, if you're as equally as gracious in victory as you are in defeat or vice versa, you don't go far wrong. Don't get me wrong, for 80 minutes, I want the Wire to do it. But I will be as impartial as always after the game. And if Saints deserve it, and if Saints win, they win. That's sport. That's just the way.
Exactly. If Saints deserve the win,
yeah, they win.
Congratulate.
Yeah, they
Pat
went
on the back. Well done.
and dusted. No dramas. We move on. You won't hear me blaming referees. Just doesn't happen, mate.
What I would say is what a great draw it's been. In terms of the teams that have been drawn against each other, I think makes a fantastic quarterfinal, and that can only be good for the sport. And I'd love to see the whole FC OKR final, but also I think that's going to make a great quarterfinal as well. But I think it's really good that they're all competitive games. Hopefully,
100%, and that brings us to the end of another Super League Raw Weekly. Next week, we will be, of course, announcing our team of the month for the month of March. That's right, we'll be doing the coach, the player, and the team, and that, of course, will change the Super League Raw trophy table quite dramatically, but we will be checking back in with that, as I say, in round 10. So we've got that next week for you to look forward to. And, of course, the predictions for round 7 will be back. No round unpacked, of course, this week because it's the Challenge Cup. Round unpacked will be back for the Super League in 2 weeks' time. Captain's Run returns a week on Thursday. Bit of time off, much needed as well, folks. I don't mind telling you. But we will be back with you for the final whistle on Sunday for more Super League Raw Weekly this time next week. On behalf of the entire panel, you enjoy quarterfinal Challenge Cup Rugby League, and we will see you this time next week. Bye for now. Here are the top performers after 6 rounds of the Betfred Super League. The top try scorers joint at the top indeed. Mikey Lewis of Hull KR and Jai Field of the Wigan Warriors, both with 7. The most try assists have come from Super Jack Wellesby of St Helens with 11. Whilst the most metres made have also come from Jack Wellesby, 998. The most clean breaks have come from Jai Field of the Wigan Warriors and Bevan French also with 8. Whilst the top tackler continues to be Caroline Dragon's Oliver Partington with 255. The most tackle busts have come from Jack Wellesby once more with 43. Whilst the most hard metres made down the middle, he's going to be put forward second row and loose forward in this one, is Alex Walmsley with 913. The most offloads have come from the Hermanator himself, Herman SASA with 15. Tabita Pangai Jr. has also made 15 offloads. And finally, the most goals that have been kicked this season thus far have come from St Helens' Mark Percival with 26. These are the top performers after 6 rounds of the Betfred Super League.